The SR manuscript. 2 years of writing and research on the topic of semen retention. If you wish to physically own a copy of the ancient archives, then this book is for you. Everybody is judged in life on what they bring to the table. If you were born with attractive looks, then you have been gifted inherent value, which gives you credit for merely existing. For the majority, however, you'll have to create your own value. The best way to build value in this world is to become the master of your craft. To become so good in your chosen field that you exceed 99% of others in it. People recognize talent and quality as they are not easy traits to achieve. They require long-term work and dedication. Mastery requires an intense level of energy, focused and directed into a single goal over a long stretch of time. If you are working on your craft, yet you still spend much time engaged in sexual fantasy, then you are diverting valuable energy away from that craft and thus diminishing your overall talents and abilities, diminishing your overall value. If 2 men start in the same field of work, yet one man spends 2 hours a day fantasizing and masturbating, which man do you think will excel the furthest? In a world where 99% of men regularly masturbate, your choice to abstain will allow you to progress faster and develop further along than the 99% of distracted men around you in your field. The simple act of semen retention will put you in the upper echelons of those pursuing your craft in a very short time. It is the ultimate weapon, and you should see it that way if accruing value and building talent is important to you. Investing all of your energy into your craft and no energy into masturbation will fast-track your development far beyond the efforts of the average man. Without the distractions of sex, the level of energy you can invest into your work will dramatically increase, and as a result, you will understand the subject matter at a deeper level. You will pick up on subtleties in your work that others miss. You will begin to see the connections and relationships between objects that your previously distracted brain didn't recognize. Ultimately, you will become unmatched in your field. The choice to abstain will pay you large dividends into the future of your career. It is the key to unlocking your latent powers and talents that have long remained dormant within you. Semen retention today is such a minority activity that the simple act of retaining will give you the biggest edge over the competition in your field. And if your wish is to monetize or make a living from your craft at some point in future, then a competitive edge will be of much interest to you. The average man loses so much of his time and energies through the habit of sexual fantasy and masturbation that oftentimes his career and life goals suffer as a result. For the masturbator, focusing on his goals will be accompanied by the constant nagging of lust, knocking at his door and inviting him out to play. If one cannot ignore this distraction, then he will not get far in life. He will not become master of his craft. You must eliminate this distraction if you wish to go far in life. Without sexual distractions, one simply has more energy at their own disposal. With this increase in energy, the ability to absorb information increases. More bits of information are being absorbed into the brain, thus the retainer's output reflects this level of quality and attention to detail that the distracted mind lacks. Before attractiveness, before social skills, before anything else of value, the most important trait for a human to have is energy. Low energy will yield low results. High energy will yield high results in all facets of life. In the workplace, energetic people tend to have more success than low energy types. In the sports arena, high energy athletes dominate. In dating and courtship, energy is rewarded. Energy is king. And if you want to be of value in the world, then before every other trait and skill, you must set your sights on energy acquisition. The preservation of your sexual forces is by far the most important practice for generating energy. That is because reproduction is your biological imperative, and your body prioritizes resources for reproduction and invests much of your body's energies into the efforts of reproduction, even at the cost of your overall lifespan. Reproduction and reproductive activities carry an energetic burden on the body. Free yourself of this burden and you free up energy. Once you start accumulating energy, you will find that your mind steadily becomes more capable, more creative, and more ambitious. The strength of your will becomes stronger, and as a result, your talents begin to flourish. If you're intent on escaping the rat race and working for yourself, then a mind that has overcome the distraction of sex will be indispensable to achieving this. Before you decide to quit your job and work for yourself, make sure you have a handle on your sexual desires. Once you have gained control over your desires, you will be able to achieve more, to go further, and to break out of whatever obstacles are currently holding you back. All of your ambitions and goals in life are contingent on you having adequate energy to achieve them. In 3 to 6 months of retention, your energy levels will become abundant enough to carry out goals that seem near out of reach at the moment. I'm speaking here from direct experience. I spent 19 years on a craft in my 20s and 30s, whilst being often distracted by women and thoughts of sex, and never made it far enough in that craft to survive full-time. However, after 6 months into retention, I started another area of work and went further in 2 years than I did in the 19 years of my previous craft. Semen retention works. I discovered from the analysis of over 25,000 people that men who succeed in an outstanding way seldom do so before the age of 40, and more often they do not strike their real pace until they are well beyond the age of 50. This fact was so astounding that it prompted me to go into the study of its cause most carefully, carrying the investigation over a period of more than 12 years. This study disclosed the fact that the major reason why the majority of men who succeed do not begin to do so before the age of 40 to 50 is their tendency to dissipate their energies through overindulgence in physical expression of the emotion of sex. The majority of men never learn that the urge of sex has other possibilities, which far transcend in importance that of mere physical expression. The majority of those who make this discovery do so after having wasted many years at a period when the sex energy is at its height, prior to the age of 45 to 50. This usually is followed by noteworthy achievement. The lives of many men up to and sometimes well past the age of 40 reflect a continued dissipation of energies which could have been more profitably turned into better channels. Their finer and more powerful emotions are sown wildly to the four winds. Out of this habit of the male grew the term sowing his wild oats. The desire for sexual expression is by far the strongest and most impelling of all human emotions, and for this very reason, this desire, when harnessed and transmuted into action other than that of physical expression, may raise one to the status of a genius. If you're finding yourself caught in the cycle of relapsing and unable to exert the power to control yourself, then you need to strengthen your will. This comes down to an emotional feeling in your body. Start by setting a future goal for your life on paper. Even better is writing it on a whiteboard in your room. A goal for where you'd like to be in your life in 2 years' time. The more details, the better. Where you'll live, your income, your body and appearance, your partner. Build a dream world of the future that you wish to live in. Just as you invest energy into sexual fantasy, invest energy into visualizing this future so that you can almost see it. Your brain's job is to take ideas from the thought realm and manifest them into physical reality. So build an idea of where you'd like to be and start to feel emotionally that this is where you're heading towards. This visualization is extremely powerful And when your vision is coupled with high energy, your body and brain will go to work at making your vision a reality. If you become absolutely enthralled by the idea of your future life and future self, your mind will stop at nothing until you become this ideal. The energy you gain from retaining will launch you far into this life trajectory that you have mapped out. It will put you on the road to success. Make no mistake, you will need to do the actual work, but with conserved sexual energy at hand and a strong sense of will, you will become a force to be reckoned with, and with this power, you can bring your dreams into reality.